Hi, a very good evening to you all, and I'm very glad to be here today. By 2021, Mivi was a 5-year-old company and was doing more than 100 crores in revenue and was growing more than 100% year on year. The founders could not sleep a wink at night. You might assume that it was because of all the excitement that the growth was bringing in. But it was because the company was so close to burnout, and the company, it would keep us awake all night long. This was 5 years into the business at 100 crore plus, and we have ideated, executed, survived, and succeeded. And this is our takeoff journey. For the takeoff journey, I would like to first begin with 3 non-negotiables for any company to grow from a, you've heard the 0 to 10 journey, but from a 10 plus, these are 3 non-negotiables. 1, team. You will have to bring in the right team members, set KPIs, track KPIs, which we generally don't do, and get out of only I can do this job mindset that most of the founders have. You should trust your teams. You should give your teams the authority and the ownership to take decisions and be responsible for those decisions. So the second point and the second non-negotiable is systems. Your business should no longer exist just in your head, or it should no longer exist in some random Excel sheets spread out all through the company or Word documents. You will have to build a system, and the reports in your system should tell you a picture of how the company is doing at every single department or with every single parameter. Number 3 is distribution. Let's take the example of Mivi. We were an online brand. We were primarily e-com. This was our chance, and that's what we've done also, was to get into more distribution channels. We've gone offline, we've gone into quick com, we've started focusing on D2C, which is our own website. So you also have the opportunity to go global, depending, across borders, if you have that kind of a business. So the 3 non-negotiables: teams, systems, and distribution. But I'm not here today to talk about those. We've heard those from the other speakers too. I'm here to talk to you about 3 not so obvious parameters that would actually help you grow. Number 1 is customer LTV. An LTV of the customer is how much can you reap from a customer again and again and again. How can you do this in a company is by expansion. You will have to expand into your complementary categories and your adjacent categories. For example, let's say you're an FMCG brand, and you've started as a brand that caters to women's skincare. An adjacent category for you would be women's makeup, because you already have the customer, you already have, they know the brand, they're excited about the brand, they're buying into your brand. So why not expand your category and get more out of the customer? The other way to do it is would also start skincare for their husbands or their boyfriends. Now, a man sees an ad, goes asks his wife or girlfriend or your sister or mother, they already know about the brand, so it's easier for you to penetrate into the entire household. And that is how you start thinking about increasing your LTV with your existing customers. The other cohort is expand your cohorts. You are, for example, at Mivi, we were doing personal audio and cables and chargers. Our cohort was a people between 18 to 30 years that are studying or doing their first jobs. Now, we've launched into home audio that helped us expand our cohort between the age groups of 30 to 45 plus. Now, suddenly, I've increased the amount of reach that I can have, the amount of audience I can reach to. We've also played with pricing. We were a mid-segment brand, but we've launched into entry category and premium category. This helped us reach customers at both ends and expand our cohorts. But none of these 4, again, were really, really critical. They were important, extremely important, but they were not critical, at least to where we were in 2021. So the one big thing And the one big parameter that really helped us grow, helped the brand exponentially grow, but also completely emptied our coffers and gave sleepless nights. The one parameter that most brands, after reaching this stage, miss, but the huge corporations know the secret to, is backward expansion. When we reach a certain stage, when you reach the growth stage, we are so focused on generating more revenue, on expanding into more categories, on expanding into or reaching more customers, which is extremely critical. But the secret, the big brands know, that the big companies know, is that you will have to also expand at your back end. At Mivi, we started manufacturing in 2020. We've started manufacturing all of our products on our own. That was a time when the brand was already doing really well. We were approached by VCs that were very interested in investing in the brand. But when we told them we are looking to start manufacturing, there was not, if I remember right, there was not a single person that said, oh, you're doing the right thing. Everybody believed it's going to be a failure, and it was the most foolish decision of our lives. To put it into perspective, though the brand grew exponentially, we were taking a hit, black and blue, and we were scraping every rupee that we had because we've gone ahead and started manufacturing despite all the advice. We've invested in R&D, and our factory was up and running. But the picture changed 3 years down the lane when I could produce my products at 30% cheaper than any competition in the country, get profitable, and also have an innovation DNA that helped my company grow and support that success. If you take examples of big corporations that I've been mentioning, take Amazon and Flipkart, for example. They've started as an online retailer, of online books retailer, but today, they've outpaced their competition. They've succeeded beyond all the other competition dying, for the reason being they own the logistics. They own the payment gateway. They own their servers. They own their entire backend, which helps them, one, increase their bottom line, two, give the right experience to their consumer, and three, give them additional business. We did the same thing at Mivi. Doing this manufacturing step, it was a glorious year for Mivi in 2021. It was a painful year for the founders in 2021. But what it resulted in, 3 years down the lane, is a real strong bottom line, a happy consumer, because today we were controlling the quality of the product. A happy consumer, again, resulted in an increased LTV. An increased LTV resulted in a healthier bottom line. So all of it tied back to that one courageous decision, or foolish decision, as you might see, on that day, but courageous decision today, that one courageous decision and one courageous step that we took. So once a brand reaches a takeoff step, or takeoff stage, or the growth stage, it is extremely important to start thinking about backward expansion and not just front-end expansion. So, and the last parameter that has really helped us grow, and I believe without this, no company will continue to survive, no matter how big it gets, is innovation. We plenty see that once a company stops innovating, it starts dying. There is always somebody right at your heels to take on that opportunity or the space that you're not innovating for, that you've created for. When you reach the growth stage, especially, you are in that sweet spot where new entrants are seeing you and saying, oh, looks like we can make money in this business, why don't we get in? And new entrants have the flexibility to move faster than you. You're also in that sweet spot where the big guys are looking into the category and saying, oh, look, this looks like a decent-sized category, and it can be an easy expansion of the resources that I have. So I want to get into this category. So there you are, primely seated for the new entrants to undercut your pricing and the big guys to outmarket you. So how do you withhold or withstand that kind of a pressure and still succeed? There is no other way than to innovate. We've launched the world's first human-like artificial intelligence this year, called Mivi AI, and then integrated it into our earbuds. They're called AI buds. So you could talk to AI right from your earbuds, and it is one of the first in the world. How this helped us, when it makes it very, very hard for a new entrant to be able to have that resources, the team, the DNA to create something like that. But we did, because we've been manufacturing and we've been developing products for a couple of years now. On the flip side, for the big guys, for a Google, for an Apple, to focus on an audio category, on an earbud category, and to innovate like we do, though they have the resources, they lack the focus, because they are more interested in their phones business, in their laptop business, in the search business, which yields them a larger revenue and a larger profitability. So we know our sweet spot, but we are not saying that we're complacent, that we've reached this sweet spot. It is very, very crucial that you never get complacent with innovation. Let me repeat, the day you stop innovating, you're setting yourself up for failure. You're setting yourself up to die. So innovation has been extremely critical, and we've innovated a couple of things over the years. We've innovated, we've come up with our own sound technology, which is one of the fewest in the world. There are almost less than 10 own proprietary sound technologies in the world, and we've done that. Many things, but I want to drive home that point that innovation is key, and only through innovation and backward integration, which are the two steps that are generally overlooked, will you be able to grow from actually take off in the growth stage. That's it for me. Thank you, guys.